You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I'm Mike Finkelstein, absolutely not the fastest man alive.
I'm Ming the Merciless.
Is that who's with me this week?
Yes.
Not Josh Schaefer?
Ming the Merciless.
Okay.
Arch nemesis of Flash Gordon.
No, the Flash. The Flash.
Did I research the wrong one?
You did not. I know you read The Flash because Jeff Johns wrote it at one point.
I did. Flashpoint.
Which, oh my god, that's so much. Anyway, today we are talking about The Flash, which I probably would have skipped on doing this until we had the Flash movie out, especially since Josh refuses to watch anything in the Arrowverse.
Yes.
Yes. Because I can't blame you. The most recent seasons of The Flash have been ass.
I watched the first half of the first season.
It was fun.
No, when did Barry Allen show up? Was that in the first season?
It was the first season of The Flash, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I watched that then.
Okay. But I feel like we have to address the weird, very weird elephant in the room, which is Ezra Miller, who is just on an absolute fucking tear to prove that celebrities are out of touch dickholes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what was it, like a year or two ago where he choked that one woman at the con?
Like in the Netherlands or something, in a bar.
Yeah, and then it comes out that he has like dozens of barely legal, like age of consent girlfriends, like
online that he's grooming.
But maybe some of them are below or under, like.
Oh, and then he has like a compound where some of them live there with his guns, and he's been getting into trouble in Hawaii as well. Like, it's just like one thing after another, where you have to assume if he wasn't in a movie that's completed shooting and is coming out sometime next year, Warner Brothers would have already fired his ass.
Yes.
Yeah. They're already like trying to say that, like, well, we don't know what the fate is for the Harry Potter prequel series, when obviously they're going to try and recast him in those movies as soon as they can. But they can't recast him until his contract is up, and his contract won't be up until that movie is out.
See, like, you would think Warner Brothers especially, I mean, I guess Amber Heard's stuff is more or less recent, but you would think that they would put some sort of a writer or something into their contracts where it's like, if you turn out to be like a piece of shit human who has sex with underage
Amber Heard didn't do that.
Well, I know Amber Heard didn't, but just
she had sex with Johnny Depp, which feels the same. It's just as sketchy.
Mentally.
Yeah.
Or it's like if you shit in Johnny Depp's bed or...
they say that like a story like he didn't want it.
Right. Like, where was that?
Right. Yeah.
Johnny Depp, did you want that to happen?
Were you into it? Scheiße.
But, like, I don't know, just... It seems so weak-throated. I don't know, like...
The issue is, you can tell, they don't want to badmouth him too publicly when they have a movie with him coming out next year. Because it seems like people would be like, why didn't you just refilm him? He's going to get likeness rights or something.
Yeah.
Most people don't know about likeness rights. But they're like, you should have just refilmed this. But they've already spent hundreds of millions of dollars on it. Refilming it to take him out of it, especially when it looks like, in some cases, it's 2 or 3 versions of his character from the trailer alone.
Yeah.
That's prohibitively expensive. Like, at this point, especially since it's the entire DC universe plan hinges on this movie, they can't even like shelve it or just shove it to HBO Max. This has to come out.
Like, and I was thinking when I first read this, is like, I wonder what the cost benefit analysis is, like, because I'm not going to go see that movie. Like, I have no desire to support it, in just the same way I don't support Fantastic Beasts, but that's also because I don't watch like Harry Potter.
Anything that has Mel Gibson in it for that reason.
Yeah. So
because Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. Thanks, Mel Gibson, for ruining Ezra Miller too.
No, there's no relation.
No, I know. Well, listeners might not know how.
Yeah, exactly.
You mean the famous anti-Semitic Mel Gibson? I can't imagine that a lot of people would watch.
Yeah, I mean, like,
but he still has like this weird teenage girl TikTok following.
Yeah.
Where it's like, because he's pretty, I guess he can get away with grooming.
They are agender.
Agender, yeah. But
I think I called him he too, but
Yeah.
they are they.
Yes.
Yeah.
I forgot. My bad. Whoops.
Well, it's easy to get caught up because, I mean, the character he's playing is not a gender.
No.
So you're caught up in Barry Allen as a he. We're talking about a he.
Yes.
So, but yeah, no, it's Ezra is. They are, and it's like my problem with them, of course, isn't that they're trans. Like I don't have a problem with that or agender or whatever term that they're going with for what their position of life. Now, I care about the fact that they're a fucked up human being right now, as far as their relationships and their violence and everything else. I've seen people online making the comment that someone like Ezra Miller makes it easier for conservatives to paint with a broad brush everyone in the trans and agender community.
That was my first thought when you reminded me that he was agender. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But what's weird, though, is I haven't seen anything about that from the right, though. I don't really.
Well, there's not another person that they can point to just yet.
Yeah.
Like you feel like this is one of those ones that's going to be like a bullet in the shotgun when they're ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been throwing that groomer word around, and
yep,
that's literally what he's doing.
Yep.
But,
well, now they can be like, well, you said that this guy's a groomer, but what about Ezra Miller? What about them? Yeah. Like that's just always their thing. They like to
Matt Gates. What about Ezra Miller?
See?
There you go. Just wrote the entire 2024 platform for him.
Yeah, right? See? I'm not as bad as this person.
Can we both just say you both suck? Like,
I mean, yeah, no, I'm perfectly okay. Like, cancel culture is not a thing that exists, but I think, like, there are times where celebrities self-cancel.
Yeah.
And should be self-canceled right out of their own careers.
Yeah.
God, who's the fucking comedian? The guy that was showing his dick to women. I forgot
Louis
his name.
C.K.?
Thank you. Louis C.K. should have been permanently canceled by his own actions. Sadly, he's making a comeback, which I will never watch.
I've heard that I haven't watched him, but because I used to really like Louis C.K. Like, and when that story came out, I was like, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a guy I could put a face to doing that exact thing, Louis C.K. is who immediately pops in my mind.
Because it's like the second they made the story about Louis C.K., then people started going back and watching old episodes of his show Louis, and they're like, well, here's a clip of him making a joke about that. And here's a clip of him doing something sketchy, and here's one. Like, yeah.
It was
blatantly
he
obvious.
Talks about it all the time.
And he does now again. He's making jokes about the same thing all over again. About, ha ha ha, remember when I used to show my dick to women? And the audience that's there for that apparently laps it up.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, like, I always respected it. I used to respect him a little bit because he was, like, seemed like a feminist, but then it's like, oh,
you mean the Joss Whedon effect?
The Joss Whedon effect.
Yeah.
All these 90s kids were all disappointed in our male icons.
Yep.
Except for Tom Hanks. He hasn't done anything bad yet, I hope. Or Keanu Reeves. We have those two still.
Still have those two. But yeah, no, so it's like Ezra Miller is one of those celebrities that because of their actions, you would think, well, if they get canceled, I'm okay with that. Because no, we should not be encouraging this kind of thing.
No.
Like,
yeah, I wouldn't care.
No matter how much Michael Keaton might be in a movie with him, no.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Batman is going to be in The Flash doing the things. I am Batman.
But I really wonder how much money, like, is it, like you said, it would be really expensive for them to reshoot everything.
It would. Because it's like every scene basically would have to be reshot.
You had to just do the whole movie again.
Yeah. Like the CGI to digitally edit someone else's face on there and redo all the ADR afterwards.
Yeah. That'd be annoying.
No, yeah, that would probably cost more than just refilming it all. And I'm not sure what the budget on it is, but most superhero movies at this point are like a couple of $100 million.
I was about to say it's like probably 150 to 250.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, it's the Flash. It's not Superman or Batman, and it's in the DCEU. DC is probably like part of their cost analysis. Sitting there going, well, Justice League did $750 million. Mm-hmm. Flash is probably only going to make $500. If we've already spent $150 million on this, if we had to refilm it all, we'd lose money.
I wonder if it would be worth it more so just to shelf it.
But this is because of what happens in the Flash. It's going to cause a flashpoint, which causes crisis. Like, there is no way to shelve it without ruining the entire plan for the next 5 years of the DCEU.
Oh, you mean they actually have a plan?
I mean, Michael Keaton Batman gets reintroduced, as does a new Supergirl in that movie, and Batgirl is supposed to be referenced, and that Batgirl is getting a movie on HBO Max soon thereafter, like, with Michael Keaton's Batman showing up in that too. Like, everything is so tightly interwoven that they can't just shelve it.
Oof. I would hate being at Warner Brothers right now.
Right? I think they should just poorly draw, like, DC animation style Flash over top.
Just do what they did for Cavill's mustache.
Yeah. Just a reverse Song of the South.
Yeah, reverse Song of the South.
Everything is live action except the Flash.
I'm from a different universe, y'all. Right.
Animated.
All right.
So, meanwhile, with other news of the Flash, apparently the Flash, the TV show, is getting yet another season 9, which is, I know you don't watch it. It's
7 years past its.
Oh my god, at least 4. Since it's like, well, Crisis was 2-3 years ago, so at least the last 3+ seasons have been pretty wretched on the Flash, and any of those could have served as maybe we should stop now.
Yeah.
But they're getting one extra season than Arrow got, which will probably be its last. But most of the stars are like, I'm done. The only person who seems to actually care about the show anymore is the lead, Grant Gustin. Mm-hmm. Everyone else is like, no, we could be done now. So. Yeah.
I mean, the whole Arrowverse needs to just go.
Well, it pretty much has. I mean, The Flash is one of the only 2 shows in the quote-unquote the verse that still actually exists. Stargirl has always sat outside, so even though there's been some characters that have crossed over, it's like they look like different. They could be different versions of the same character. Like, not Barry Allen, the old Flash.
Jay Garrick.
Jay Garrick's the guy who plays from the 1990s Flash. Mm-hmm. His Jay Garrick character showed up in Stargirl.
Oh, that's cool.
But whether he was the same Jay Garrick or a different Jay Garrick, they never really. And now they've said that the Superman and Lois takes place in a different universe now, even though it's all the same actors and some crossover actors even. So it's like, so the Arrowverse is basically dead.
Is Doom Patrol in the Arrowverse?
No, they're all in the multiverse.
Oh. Nice.
Nothing except the Flash exists in the Arrowverse proper anymore.
So maybe season 9's it then.
Yeah. I think it's probably the best time to end the Arrowverse at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the Flash movie coming out.
Yeah, I would see Superman and Lois moving to HBO Max at some point and Stargirl continuing, because that was a DC Universe show that wasn't tied to the Netflix deal.
Yeah.
So, and the Flash should just... God, the Flash should end. It should... Especially, like... I don't even care about the movies and the TV shows having different Flashes, but like, it would be nice if they would just recast the movie and have it be someone that could show up on TV and then just use one guy who's actually worthwhile.
That'd be nice.
And then bring the Superman from Superman and Lois to the big screen. He deserves it. He's great.
I've heard that about... I haven't watched Superman and Lois.
You should. It's so good. So much better than The Flash.
Yeah. I'm just nervous about DC.
Yeah.
But... Black Adam looks cool, though.
Does. There's no Flash in it.
There's no Flash. But there's a Hawkman. And he looks badass.
I actually have to wonder if the New Line shows even take place in the proper DCEU. Like Shazam and Black Adam. I don't even know if they take place on the same planet for each other. But,
I have no idea.
But, yeah.
I think...
I mean, Shazam is a multiverse movie anyway. Like, it had dimension doors to other universes, so it can exist anywhere it wants.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that DC just stops, or Warner Brothers, I guess, doesn't even try to do anything with an extended universe, because I don't think they'll ever get to the point where Marvel's at.
They won't, but I would like them to be a little more focused so we didn't have like 3 different Batmans running around and like how many different fucking Jokers we have right now.
I mean, that's in the comics, too.
Yeah, I know.
Tighten a lot of stuff.
Well, that's DC. That's just throw everything against the wall, something will stick.
Speaking of, there's a new Hawkman book coming out, too.
Is it Savage?
No, Rob Liefeld has nothing to do with it. But it sounds like it's coinciding with the release of Black Adam.
Ooh.
So,
Although I have to tell you, you said Coen, and I'm like, the Coen brothers wrote it? And then I was trying to envision what a Coen brothers Hawkman would be.
well, George Clooney would be in it somewhere. George Clooney could be Dr. Fate.
No, I was like, it's just like a honed down, like, Hawkman just going about his normal everyday life, and then weird things keep happening to him.
I would watch it. I love the Coen brothers. Like,
some banjos play in the background.
And since he reincarnates all the time, it could be in canon. Like,
he has wings, but he keeps going for these long drives across the desert.
I like it. Coen brothers,
write us a Hawkman.
Write us a Hawkman.
we'll help script it with you.
We'll help.
Give some ideas.
George Clooney can be Dr. Fate.
He'd be a good Dr. Fate. Yeah, I like that.
John Goodman can be whoever he wants.
He'd just be John Goodman.
John Goodman is John Goodman.
He's just this best friend that the Hawkman never had in the comics, but he just hangs out and bowls with him once in a while. Yeah.
I like that. John Goodman doesn't do it. Well, he's doing the Gemstones. Mighty Gemstones, or whatever it's called. Which is a good show if you haven't watched it.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
You should.
Sorry. No.
John Goodman at his finest.
No. Anyway, I think we're good on this one. I mean, I know I could get you talking about Hawkman forever.
Oh, yeah. It's not hard to do.
No. Not so much The Flash. I mean...
I like The Flash enough, but...
I picked up Rebirth, which was Jeff Johns' right, and that was fine.
It was
fine.
It was B-.
Well, it's like Barry Allen is one of those characters that stood apart. Mm-hmm. His death was good enough that he didn't need to be resurrected.
Yeah, Wally West did a good job too.
Wally West was a fantastic Flash, especially in like when he took over and really became the Flash.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, they fucked him over in New 52 and everything else. Barry Allen's death was, like, it was one of those deaths that, like, Bucky Barnes and Jason Todd and Uncle Ben was not supposed to be undone.
3 of those 4 are back now.
But, yeah, so, like, with Uncle Ben's the only one that hasn't come back, even though he kind of did in Ultimates. But, like, doesn't count. Did he die again?
I don't know. The Ultimates, I don't think exists anymore.
I mean, that universe merged in, but
I kind of
was it more like, well, didn't that Spider-Man die? So then it doesn't even matter if that Uncle Ben exists because he could just be wiped from the universe and no one would care.
Right, because Miles took over.
Yeah, in that universe.
Yes,
so fucking weird.
Ultimates was a great idea, great comic until it wasn't.
Yeah, well, that's every comic run. But yeah, so like again, it's the point. Like there are certain characters that were never supposed to come back. Jason Todd should not have come back, and they did.
Especially as the Red Hood, which is so dumb,
so weird. And then like Bucky Barnes, like his resurrection is fine, but there was nothing like necessary about it.
No, the Winter Soldier. Okay,
they could have been anyone. It didn't have to be Bucky. I mean, it works in the context of the movies.
Yeah, but the comic books always seemed a little
forced.
Yeah.
Far-fetched?
That too.
Bad?
Yes, that
too. Okay.
Because I was working at the comic book store when that happened.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh my God, we need to read this. And everyone was like, this was
not great. Yeah, it's not good. But, like, Barry Allen coming back. Yay, Barry Allen. But the hole that he left in the DC universe was perfectly filled by Wally West.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessary.
Same thing with when Hal Jordan died, or even when he was the Spectre. Like Kyle Rayner did a fine job. Jon Stewart did a fine job, even though he moonlighted as the Daily Show anchor at the same time.
Yeah, well, I mean, he did both of those excellently.
Excellent.
Like Hal Jordan dying, there were still like so Kyle Rayner had to reboot the core because there was only him left because reasons.
Yeah.
But then all the other Green Lanterns got their rings back. Like, we had 3 Protectors of Earth. I like Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan was more interesting as the Spectre.
Yes.
Like, they brought him back, and it was great to have him back, but then they didn't do a lot with his stories.
Yeah.
They did more focusing on the Skittle Lanterns under Jeff Johns, which I liked. I liked the Skittle Lanterns.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like Hal Jordan had to come back.
You give the old school boomer people their heroes back.
Like, even Oliver Queen?
Yeah.
Like, Red Arrow was doing a good job without him.
Yep.
And now Red Arrow wears a trucker hat.
Yeah. Yeah. DC, you want to know what sets Marvel apart from you?
No trucker hats.
Emo Lobo.
Yeah.
Lobo. Like,
I mean, Marvel's not above it.
No,
they do this stupid shit too.
They do, but it seems a lot
more prevalent.
Yeah.
The fact that DC reboots every 5 years
doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, Jean Grey is a fucking comedic trope at this point for the number of times that she comes back.
Well,
but
in X-Men universe, they explained all of that away. There's a whole
new Jean Grey.
No, it's just I don't even know where to start with that, but
it all involves Barry Allen.
But Barry Allen ran so fast that he stopped President John F. Kennedy from being assassinated.
I can see it. Yeah.
And then
the end.
Mm-hmm. And then what was it? There was a book or a Teen Titans book where John F. Kennedy faked his assassination and became an intergalactic hero.
My God, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I forget what it was called. I had to look it up, but it was like some shapeshifter that they put in that Lee Harvey Oswald killed instead, and he was like, "Well, now that everyone thinks I'm dead, I'm going to go off into space. I'm John F. Kennedy.
I'm going to give everyone space STDs."
Tell Marilyn sent you.
Wow. Anyway, okay, so that, yeah.
Have fun editing this one.
I like the Flash as a character. I think he's interesting. I liked Wally West better.
I do too. Wally West was our generation's Flash.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that all these productions miss is that they always put too much focus on Barry.
Yes.
Like, the TV show that's going on right now had Wally West introduced, Wally West had a new dynamic, and then he just kind of wandered away. I get that the actor didn't want to play it anymore, but I think in part from the reports, it's because he felt like his character was getting sidelined for really boring Barry Allen stories that are always the fucking same. Can I run this fast? I can run this fast. Should I do this? I'm going to do it anyway, even though my team says I should, and then I'll run fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You just explained 40 years of the Flash.
Well, at least it's on point.
Yeah, yeah. But
so
I prefer Wally West personally.
Yeah. Anyway, this has been Not So Live from Asteroid G here among Wally West fans. I'm Mike Finkelstein.
I am no longer Ming the Merciless.
You are instead
the Hawkman.
And we will see you next time.